when you hit a period like this, when you're not training frequently, well, still frequently, but not as much, you realize how much free time you got, right? Like how much variation there could be in a day if you don't put an hour or bloody 2 hours some days into this. That is a healthy experience. It is good for you to kind of step back, whether you want to or not. I mean, the sickness kind of forces you in a way, doesn't it? But you step back and then you just pay attention to how you feel that time. And surprisingly, you feel that time. Trust me, you find things. Not all of them are bad, not all of them are good, blah, 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 but you find time. You find, let's say, non-negotiable activities very soon after where you have an hour slot, which would normally be dedicated to training, but now you're not training, and so now you just find another training-like activity where it's we're locking it in this week, man. Every Wednesday we do this. For me, the question always comes back to is, am I happy with this transaction? Dropping in, 7 hours of training a week, take that away, minus 7 hours of training a week, inserting 7 hours of what? And that is a question that I ask you. What are you putting that transaction through with? Now, if you say, I'm going to take 7 hours of training a week off the plate and I'm going to put 7 hours of volunteering at the local hospital for the betterment of the society that I live in, the community, absolutely, that is a noble thing. But if you tell me you're taking 7 hours of training off the plate, off the table, and you are inserting 7 hours of television a week, or 7 hours of just leisure, whatever the hell you're doing, then I would question that. What are you, replacing that? And so I am a human being. I've got 3 kids, a wife, a house, a job. The 99% of the world lives the same life. So I live the same life as you. It's just I have somehow found this crazy amount of time to dedicate to training. I ask myself, what the hell are you doing that you're not doing this? Now, we all find reasons and ways of going about our life, but 7 hours of watching your favorite TV show, like how much fun do you need? How much, without being too crude, some of these videos end up getting taken down. How much nudity do you need? How much, dude? How much is enough? How much death scrolling is going to be enough for you? 7 hours a week, is that enough scrolling for you? Seeing the same old thirst traps? The question that I'm asking is, I'm not judging, I'm just saying, where is the limit here, dude? Would 30 hours a week of dedicated to just drooling over your phone enough? These are some of the questions that you ask yourself, and what's done is done. The history is done. I'm just asking you for your future transactions. Where are you going to draw the line? Where is enough for you to have fun? How about you start doing some boring stuff? Because the thing is with boring stuff is that the boring stuff betters you, right? See that transaction? No one's selling you boring stuff. Otherwise, you wouldn't see boring stuff, right? It doesn't sell well. The funny thing is that if you do boring stuff, it benefits you. If you do fun stuff, it benefits someone else. Like if you're doing fun stuff, you probably have to buy it or subscribe to it or some other avenue. But if you're doing the boring stuff, you're probably the one benefiting. That's otherwise known as work. You're working. Whether you're working for somebody else or for yourself, you are getting something in return. Fun, you're not getting anything in return other than just fun. And try to put that currency into something else. You can't use fun in anything. This is something that it clicked, today. Or I was thinking about this. I'm like, damn, man. I've been sick for the last week and whatever. I've done very minimal training. And today was like a 5-6 minute session. Damn. There's a lot of time I've freed up by not training. I just get frightened at the thought of, man, what sort of individual would I become if I just completely removed all this training, which this is pretty much close to it. 5 minutes is very, very close to 0 minutes. What does that person end up being like? I don't know if I would be proud of an environment like that. Now, scrap the YouTube channel aside, throw all that to the bin, all that stuff following. This is for me, dude. I need to have a dedicated time slot every single day. My whole freaking society around me understands that. Everyone in my life understands. My parents, my wife, my kids. At some point today, dad is going to do some training. And that keeps me accountable by themselves. People come up to me like, hey man, have you trained today? Literally. That is my existence. And to me, it's freaking easy work, man. Everyone's checking in on that kind of thing. That is a beneficial thing. And that is a life that I would much rather live than a life where I've just generated 14 hours a week of free time. And I don't know if I could replace it with something as good as this. Something as fulfilling as this. You could beat me with your suggestions. There are many other things you could be doing for sure. But in terms of all of the stuff that we care about with training, with health, this is bang for your buck. That's for sure. Appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.